We're about to dive deep into 7 habits that completely transformed my life in just 1 week. Yes, you heard that right. 1 week. I know it sounds almost too good to be true, but I promise you these aren't just your run-of-the-mill tips you hear everywhere. These are real, raw, and honest habits that I personally integrated into my daily routine. I went through the struggles, the breakthroughs, and the triumphs, and the transformation I experienced was nothing short of amazing. I can't wait to share these with you because they've had such a profound impact on my life, and I believe they can do the same for you. Whether you're looking to boost your productivity, improve your mental health, or just make a positive change in your everyday life, these habits can help you get there. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because these habits aren't just theoretical. They're practical, actionable steps that you can start implementing today. Plus, I'll be sharing some personal stories and insights from my own journey, giving you a raw and honest look at how these habits worked for me. So without further ado, let's get started. Habit 1. Waking up early. The first habit that changed my life was waking up early. Now let me be completely honest with you. I was never a morning person. My bed was my best friend, and I used to hit the snooze button more times than I can count. Mornings were a chaotic rush, and I often felt like I was starting my day on the wrong foot. But I decided to give waking up early a shot, and let me tell you, it was a game changer. I started by setting my alarm for 5 a.m. The first few days were brutal. I remember dragging myself out of bed feeling groggy, and wondering if this was really worth it. But I pushed through, and by the 3rd day, something incredible started to happen. I began to appreciate the quiet and stillness of the early morning hours. There was something almost magical about being up before the rest of the world, when everything was calm and peaceful. With these extra hours in the morning, I found time for things I never seemed to have time for before. I started my day with a bit of light exercise. Nothing too intense, just some stretching or a short jog around the neighborhood. This not only woke me up but also energized me for the rest of the day. I also spent some time meditating and setting my intentions for the day. These few moments of mindfulness made a huge difference in my overall mindset and productivity. Another surprising benefit of waking up early was that I no longer felt rushed. I had ample time to enjoy a healthy breakfast, sip my coffee slowly, and plan out my day. This unrushed start set a positive tone for the entire day. I was more organized, less stressed, and felt a greater sense of control over my time. One personal experience that stands out was the morning I watched the sunrise from my balcony. It was a simple yet profoundly beautiful moment, and it was in that moment that I truly understood the power of waking up early. Now, waking up early might not be for everyone, but I encourage you to give it a try, even if it's just for a week. Start with just 15 minutes earlier than your usual wake-up time and gradually increase it. You might be surprised at how much of a positive impact it can have on your life. It's not just about having more hours in the day, but about using those hours to create a more mindful, intentional, and fulfilling start to your day. Habit 2. Daily exercise. Next up, daily exercise became a game changer. I used to find every excuse not to work out. I'd tell myself I was too tired, didn't have time, or that I'd start tomorrow. Sound familiar? But one day, I committed to moving my body every single day for a week, and the results were nothing short of amazing. I started small, committing to just 20 minutes a day. I mixed things up: yoga, jogging, strength training, anything to keep it fresh so I wouldn't get bored. The first few days were tough, my muscles ached, and I felt exhausted. But by day 4, everything changed. I woke up feeling energized and in a better mood. The best part? It wasn't just about burning calories. The endorphins gave me mental clarity, reduced stress, and a sense of empowerment. One day I laced up my sneakers for a run on a crisp, clear morning, and the sense of freedom I felt was incredible. Yoga, too, was a highlight. I didn't think I'd enjoy it at first, but it quickly became one of my favorite activities. Through consistent exercise, I realized it wasn't about pushing myself to extremes. It was about finding movement that felt good and prioritizing self-care. If you're hesitant to start, Just pick something you enjoy and commit to it for a few minutes a day. The benefits are real. Habit 3. Journaling. Journaling was another habit that changed my life. At first I thought it was just for those who had a ton of free time or were naturally introspective. I didn't think I had the patience or need for it. But once I gave it a real shot, it became a cornerstone of my personal growth. Each night before bed, I set aside just 10 minutes to reflect on my day. No fancy apps, just me, a notebook, and a pen. The first few entries felt awkward, but then I found myself diving deeper into my thoughts, goals, fears, and insecurities. It was like having a conversation with myself, and the more I did it, the more I understood my emotions and thought patterns. Writing about things I struggled with, like a stressful day at work, helped me gain clarity and control over my emotions. I also began a gratitude section, where I wrote down 3 things I was thankful for each day. It shifted my focus from lack to abundance. Journaling became a form of therapy that untangled complex emotions, brought clarity, and helped me track my progress. It gave me peace and encouraged me to keep moving forward. Habit 4. Mindful eating. Mindful eating was a major transformation. I used to eat on the go, distracted by my phone or computer, hardly paying attention to what I was eating. I didn't realize how much this affected my overall well-being until I tried eating mindfully for just 1 week. Mindful eating is all about focusing on your food, paying attention to flavors, textures, and even the sounds of your meal. At first, it felt strange to eat without distractions, but it quickly became a calming ritual. I would clear the table, set my place, and breathe deeply before diving into my meal. The difference was astounding. I noticed how much more I enjoyed my food. Things I'd eaten hundreds of times, like fresh vegetables, suddenly tasted more vibrant. I also became more aware of my body's hunger and fullness cues. I ate slower and didn't overeat. One morning I took time to savor a bowl of oatmeal. It wasn't just about nourishment. It became a moment of gratitude and mindfulness. Mindful eating also helped me realize how different foods made me feel. Processed foods left me feeling sluggish, while whole foods energized me. It wasn't just about eating less. It was about being present and listening to my body. If you want to try this, start with 1 meal a day and focus on your food. It can change your entire relationship with what you eat. Habit 5. Limiting screen time. Limiting screen time was a hard one. In today's digital age, it's so easy to get sucked into endless scrolling, binge-watching shows, or checking emails. But I realized how much it was affecting my mental health and productivity. So I decided to set boundaries, starting with a daily limit of 1 hour for non-work-related screen time. This was tough at first. My usual routine involved filling every free moment with my phone. But I soon discovered how much more time I had without constant digital distractions. I started rediscovering old hobbies: reading, drawing, cooking. One evening, instead of watching TV, I went for a walk in the park. The fresh air and movement felt so rejuvenating. Another major change was in my sleep. No more phone scrolling before bed, which helped me wind down and fall asleep more easily. Limiting screen time also improved my mental health. Without the constant bombardment of news and social media comparisons, I felt less anxious. I found myself being more present and engaged in conversations. One afternoon, I spent hours at a cafe with just a notebook and a pen, which was a peaceful and productive break from screens. If you're feeling overwhelmed or distracted, try cutting back on screen time. Even just an hour less per day can make a big difference. Habit 6. Practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude was the next habit I integrated into my life. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily life and focus on what's going wrong. But once I started focusing on the things I was grateful for, it shifted my mindset completely. I began writing down 3 things I was thankful for each day. It didn't matter how small or simple, whether it was the sunshine, a good conversation, or a delicious meal. I realized how much beauty and abundance there was in my life, even on the hard days. Gratitude became a practice that helped me appreciate the present moment. It wasn't just about being thankful for big things. It was about acknowledging the small, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. One evening, I wrote about a random act of kindness I experienced, which inspired me to pay it forward. Gratitude not only improved my mental well-being, but also helped me stay grounded and optimistic. If you're looking to shift your mindset, start a gratitude practice. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Just take a moment each day to acknowledge what you're thankful for. Habit 7. Setting boundaries for self-care. The final habit that transformed my life was setting boundaries for self-care. I had a tendency to say yes to everything, often at the expense of my well-being. I realized that in order to be my best self for others, I needed to put my own needs first. This meant saying no to things that drained me and protecting my energy. It wasn't always easy, especially when I wanted to please people. But over time, I learned that setting boundaries was an act of self-respect. Whether it was carving out time for a solo walk, turning down extra work, or simply saying no to an invitation when I needed rest, it was essential for my mental and physical health. One weekend, I took a day just for myself, filled with activities I loved, reading, cooking, and meditating. It left me feeling refreshed and energized. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's a necessary part of taking care of yourself so you can show up as your best self for others. These 7 habits completely transform my life, and I'm confident that if you commit to them, they can do the same for you. Whether you're aiming to boost productivity, improve your mental health, or just live a more fulfilling life, these habits are powerful tools. Start small, adjust to your lifestyle, and remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Make these habits part of your daily routine, and watch how they shape your life for the better.